Welcome back to the Intersint podcast. This is episode 22.
I had something else had to go. I was ready to do the intro. I was like, okay, I got something good for this one, and then you just jump in and go for it.
Oh, well, what is the one good thing you had?
It's the past.
No,
we're done.
Do it.
It's past.
Do it. Fine, save it for the next one.
It doesn't work for the next one. It only worked for this one.
Do it. Just do it.
What, you want to do a restart? Welcome back to the Intersint podcast. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling episode 22. Kenise, how are you?
Wow. You're a little Swifty over here.
Did you like that one?
Hey mom, do you like that? Did you see what I did?
Hang it up on the refrigerator.
Since when did you become a Swifty?
And never. Honestly, okay, I know we've ragged on her in the past,
yes,
as well. I don't want to make this a continual thing, but even when she first came out, I remember my brother was like, "Oh my god, she's so hot," and blah blah. I'm like, "No, she's not. What are you talking about?"
Aw.
I've never been I've never been a fan of her music. It's just always has been annoying to me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think back in the day when she first started off, I dealt with it. It was good music for back in the day, but then as it progressed, I was just it's pretty much all the same.
Kind of. For me, it's you obviously have your shitty pop music that is on the radio, and that's it gets stuck in your head and whatnot. But when it's Taylor Swift, it's I can't do it. I'm sorry. give me 10 hours of Akon singing, and I'll take that over this.
Oh wow.
I was trying to think of a song Akon does, and I'm I honestly can't tell you one.
Yeah, I can't either.
Who does the song of that's in The Office whenever they're getting married?
Chris Brown, Forever, I think.
No. Because someone's hey, hey, even when the sky is falling
that's
down.
Jay Sean.
Oh, okay. See, I always come to you for the artists because you know all these artists and know their names and songs.
Baby, are you down, 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 down?
Yeah. Even there's times you've told me, you're oh, this one song from a band we love. Mm-hmm. It's really good. I'm who sings that song?
Granted, it's been a while since you've listened to them.
Well, even as I'm listening, I'm I don't know who sings that. And you're your favorite band? I'm oh, yeah. I am terrible with song names and band names and people.
Aw. Well, when you're put on the spot like that, yeah, but when you're telling me stuff, it's oh, wow, I didn't know about that.
I always come to you. I'll be hey, Kenise, and I'll sing the rhythm of the song. Who sings that song? And you're yeah, it's this person.
I'm Shazam.
You are.
That's that one time in The Office where it's you had trouble finding.
Oh, yeah, I had a song stuck in my head.
You did.
And I was I don't know what the song is, where I heard it, why I heard it, but it's in my head. And I think we spent about an hour trying to figure out what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But even we went on a hike once too, and I had a song in my head, and you're which one? I was I don't know. So I sang the lyrics, and then you told me in 5 seconds. You're oh yeah, that's this one.
And I don't know why I'm like that, because it's I don't believe myself to have been that well, I guess you could say well versed in music as much as you have, back in the day, to remember what these songs are.
True. I mean, granted, you do come to me sometimes because you can't remember a song.
Yeah.
It's a hit 50-50 if I can get it or not. Or I can at least give you the band, but I'm I don't know what song that is, but I know it's at least this band.
So my morning was chaotic.
Oh.
So
wait, you just woke up an hour ago. How was it chaotic?
Shut up. Listen to my fucking story.
How much chaos can happen in 1 hour?
I opened my eyes. I go to turn off my alarm. And so I had we had the garage door open yesterday just because there was yard work and whatnot going on. So people need to be in and out of the house. And obviously when things are open, bugs come in.
Oh no.
Realized that this morning when I saw a fly just flying around doing its little fly thing. I'm okay, whatever. You're not bothering me. Thank you. You're not bothering me. It's fine. I'm just going to go back in my room and go to bed. I did that. My door was open.
Oh no.
I turned my alarm off. I opened my eyes. Okay, I'm just laying down here. in the corner of my eye, I just see something like fluttering about. I'm like, oh, it's probably some dust or whatever. Fuck it. It is basically face to face with me.
The
and
fly?
I jump out of bed. Yes. I jump out of bed. And I spent the first like half hour just trying to get this thing out. And it did not want to come. Like I used like one of those to-go boxes, the plastic like containers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just trying to like catch this fucking thing. Just, and like I go to get it. And I think I got it, but it just flies away. And I'm just like, you fucker, I will take you out one way or another. Either by death or by cop.
I don't know if I still have it. I used to have one of those electric zapper things. If I still have it, I think I got rid of it. But if I do, I'm going to give it to you because it sounds like you need it.
I need it more.
Just run around the house with the zapper.
Oh, and I don't know why they're all attracted to my room. Maybe it's because I have the most light in there.
Maybe. I mean, flies in general are just very dumb.
But for it to be so dumb that it's just always in my room, as opposed to like the kitchen. You're talking about the
creature that if it's in your car and you put down the car window to have it go out the window, it will fly everywhere except for out the giant opening.
That is true. Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm not seeing it now, so I guess it left.
Hopefully, or it's just waiting.
I swear, if it's waiting, I'm gonna kill it. It's coming under my foot this time.
Have you ever had it where you're sleeping and a fly lands on you? And so you swat it and it lands right in the same exact spot where it was just landed before?
No, but I had a spider crawl on my face when I was sleeping.
Oh, that's even worse.
It was when I first moved out here. And I don't think I had a bed frame at the time. So our mattresses were on the floor because we were still waiting on the movers to come in.
Which I think that's the best for me. I think I love the mattress on the floor.
Really?
I do. I don't know why. I think it's like associated with like, being trashy or something. I don't know why, but for some, it's just going into your bedroom and just falling into bed because it's on the floor to go to sleep. I love it.
I guess it just depends on what kind of mattress you have. Because those thinner mattresses are like annoying and you just sink in.
I would love a floor mattress, but the frame is on like the floor. You know what I mean? Not raised up is like a floor sitting frame that is really low.
They make those, I think.
They would have to, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what was happening?
The fly, but...
No, you sleeping on the floor.
Oh, so it was when we first moved out here. Like, there was we had our mattresses on the floor because we were waiting for the movers to come in with all the rest of our furniture. And so I think it was just this one day where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for a nap. I'm pretty tired. So I go and lay on my bed that's on the floor, and I wake up like a half hour later because my mom was like, hey, let's go do something. And I get up, and from the corner of my eye, I just see this spider just crawling out of my bed and walking away. And I'm like, I was just there frozen, did not know what to do. I mean, I was already scared of spiders to begin with.
Right.
So my brain was like, do I cry or do I scream? And I was just like jumping around and just like screaming.
Did you do both?
Mom? Yes. Of course. Of course I did both.
Yeah, we're about in that spider season now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're now leaving this spider season, but there was a time I was bringing the dog into the apartments, and there's one of those big ass spiders, like the big guys, and they were in front of the door that I need to get into the building. And so he was coming down from his butt, building his web, I guess. And I'm like, how do I do this? And I'm trying to figure out a way to like hit the spider with the door to cause him to stick to the door so then I can get inside and he'll be on the outside. So I'm like, I opened the door, and I guess the pressure from the door opening, like the wind pressure, pushed the spider away, and then it swung towards me because of the direction and stuff. And I'm like, anyone watching this happen at night, like out their window, is seeing me like flailing with the door and like dancing, trying to like avoid the spider. On top of trying to get the dog to avoid the spider.
Oh yeah.
Because I swear he can smell them or something, because he loves to like go into their webs, and like then he has a spider on him, and I freak out, and I'm trying to get it off of him, and he doesn't know what's going on.
Aw.
It's crazy. One thing I don't like about out here is spider season.
Yeah. Wasn't there something like that in the East Coast or no?
We had stink bug season.
That's starting to become a thing here in the summer.
It is. Yeah, now it's starting to become here too.
You brought it with you.
And I did.
Go back.
I brought the weather. I brought the stink bugs. Yeah, it would get pretty bad in my place. That, and then we had a few years. They weren't consecutive, but a few years where ladybugs were really bad.
Oh.
And we just got overrun with ladybugs everywhere.
Ugh.
I don't know why or where they came from, but not spiders. It gets to the point where there's so many spiders out that I have to be cautious of where I take the dog for walking because I just constantly walk into them and then I'm like paranoid that a spider's on me.
Ugh. That's like that one time after one of our hikes. I think it was the first one we did.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
We were so exhausted. We were exhausted. We were hungry. You went towards, like, as we were leaving and like we saw the car and everything, you went on the regular path to leave the trail.
Well, I think we should first add context to this.
Okay.
First off, we went to the wrong trail.
Yes.
Which was my bad.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Always.
The whole time I was in front of you.
Holst?
Is that what I said?
You did? Whoa.
The entire time I was in front of you and I had a stick and I was constantly waving the stick up and down in front of me because
you hit me with that stick multiple times.
I hit you with the stick a few times because there was just so many spider webs that I'm like, I'll just stick in front and wave the stick in front of us so we don't get spider webs. I got bit by a spider.
You did.
And it was just a miserable time. So we finally are leaving. And like you said, I was going to go on the main trail. And you decide, I'm not going to stay behind you anymore. I'm going to cut through this woods and get to the car faster. And then what happened?
I walked into the biggest spider web of my life. And I hated it. And I was crying.
It was literally seconds after you left from behind me. You went your own path and you face first right into a spider web.
Never again.
And then we went and got food and we're like dirty, sweaty spider webs on us and we're just sitting in our restaurant.
Yeah,
eating.
I kind of felt bad for our server.
We learned. We
did.
But a big update. You finally got to see the weapons.
I did. Yeah.
You were over again not too long ago, and I was like, we have to see these weapons because we can't have this happen again.
Which I had to say, like, I wasn't expecting those kinds of like weapons.
What were you expecting though?
Just like a regular like knife machete type thing, like just a small little thing, not like this fucking gigantic knife.
But I thought machetes were just big.
They come in different sizes.
Do they? I thought they came in different shapes, but not different sizes.
I mean, what would you call something that's bigger than a standard knife? And
we had this conversation because I have another knife that is bigger, but like not machete like, and you called it a machete.
Did I see that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, it's not a machete, it's just a big knife. And you're like, isn't a machete just a big knife? Which I still don't know. It's just an extra large knife, I would say.
I mean, bigger than a standard knife, smaller than a sword.
Yeah, almost like a dagger, almost.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a dagger. So that was we finally got that off the table. You finally got to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
The stun gun was dead, so you weren't able to shock.
I mean, I guess that was a good thing. Because I did put it on you.
And you pushed the button too. You're like, oh, is this the button to make it zap?
Well, to be fair, I knew it was dead, so that's why I did it.
Oh, okay.
You did mention that.
Oh, did I? I wasn't sure when the button push happened.
I think it was either on the podcast or as you were like showing me everything, you're like, oh yeah, that stun gun's dead. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, I remember on the podcast I said it might be dead, but I wasn't sure.
Well, you may have shown me too. Like
I probably did,
button.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust myself to just press the button like that.
Oh, I know. And then it'd be so loud you drop it and like
scream.
Because of how heavy it is, it'd fall on your toe or something. And you'd break your toe, and then we'd have to deal with that. Just this whole series of events that lead to
I am accident prone.
You very much are.
Well, going off updates, I have another one.
Oh.
And we talked about this, I think it was either 19 or 18. One of the more recent episodes. We talked about retail. So I messaged that guy for the shoes.
Oh, you did?
I did. And I did not hear back.
I was going to check in on this, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she ever did that.
He read it and just left me unread.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, man.
I emailed him too. Nothing. So now I want to be like, well, listen here, fucker.
What do you even do at that point? It makes me wonder, like, if he's even selling these things. You know what I mean? Like, what if he has just one pair of blank shoes and people send him money to do the design, and he sends a picture and like, oh, I got the shoes, and then he never sends it.
I don't know, because there's people who like tag him in it and be like thanks for the shoes.
But you can pay for those.
I guess.
You can pay for comments to say like, oh, this is great, thank you.
But then why even have that business to begin with if you're never gonna...
I think at this point, I think it's just a front. He just gets people's money and then never does anything about it.
I should just report it.
You should. I would. There you go.
After this.
Report it.
Because I was pissed.
Now we have a new update coming after all this. This is the saga of Kinesa's shoes. Freedom for the shoes. I'm invested now. I can't wait to see what happens.
I mean, I doubt there'll be anything, but we'll see.
At least like get your money back. That's all. Like,
that's all I want.
Yeah.
I just want my money.
Now you learned. You can't trust people.
Yeah.
Which I guess going over that, did you get your salad update?
No.
Did you send the message?
I did find the kit though.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like, I think I forgot to mention it on the episode. I did find whatever kit that was.
Oh, okay. Not as fun of an update on that one. So I've been having this thing where I've complained about this so many times to you, but I have the worst luck with weather when it comes to taking the dog outside.
Oh yeah, you do.
And it just happened to me just the other day too. For anyone like people who have dogs, maybe you go through the same thing. Let me know, because I feel like I'm the only one. Where I'll look outside and it's not raining. I'm like, cool. Grab my hoodie, grab my shoes, take the dog out, downpour. By the time I get from my apartment to the outside, which is a minute time.
If that.
And then I have the opposite. It's pouring outside. So I grab my rain jacket, my rain boots, go outside, no rain, and it's just calm and clear. Then everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, it was just downpouring. Like, am I hallucinating this? Am I going crazy?
One day the weather will work out for you.
It never does. Never, ever, ever. Even my phone will be like, oh, there's going to be rain in an hour. Cool. I'm going to get outside before the hour. It starts raining by the time I get outside, and it's not even an hour yet. Which it goes off of, my dog hates shower or like baths, which is just water falling on him, but loves being out in the rain and has no problem with it. Like,
isn't that like all animals?
It's the same thing. Is it?
I don't know. Like I've heard that with animals, like they just don't like baths or like showers.
They don't want to be clean.
They want the dirty water.
Like he loves like playing around in the ocean and lakes. Loves the rain. But I put him in a bathtub and it's the end of the world for him and he's dying. Like, I don't understand it at all.
Aw. Speaking of dogs, though, I was online the other day and I'm just scrolling through Instagram, like, sure, whatever. And I see this one post of like, these pandas are just dogs. And I'm like, wait, what? And so apparently there's a zoo in China that has been painting dogs to look like pandas to put them on exhibit. And I'm like, I swear this has happened before.
Has it really?
I swear that this has happened before. They were like dressing up like other, like the dogs thing happened more than once for sure. But I think there was like a story 2 or 3 years ago where it's like, oh, they're putting on panda costumes on humans and putting those on display. And they're just like pretending to walk around. Oh no, I know exactly what the story was.
You're thinking of the sun
bear. Yeah.
Because the instant I saw that same article you did, my first thought went to the sun bears.
Which, was that ever like disputed or no?
It was. I mean, it was like, no, this is a bear.
Well, sun bears are real.
Well, yeah, but they showed they were actual. And the thing is because someone didn't know what we were talking about. So I showed them the video, and I get it. It does look very human-like the way it moves when it's standing on 2 feet. So I understand it, but I love that someone thinks that there's a human inside of a costume parading around as a bear.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, just because I feel like China considers pandas, I guess, sacred or like...
I think...
Protected,
or it's just like a
protected species.
Protected, I think, more than...
So they don't want to like put them out for people.
True. But the article and seeing the picture of the panda dogs, it's like, who would see that and think it's a panda?
What a cute little panda.
It's just a confused dog just walking around.
See a dog running around barking.
That's
Painted like a panda.
Imagine, like, what would their reason to be, like, if the dog starts barking at someone, like, oh no, that's what pandas sound like.
We would know. We're experts.
I love it. And now it's like, what are they going to be next? Are you going to paint dogs to be like red pandas? Which I think would be closer, maybe.
That's what I was thinking too. Or like if you get a fox and paint that as a red panda, I feel like that would be more closer.
Maybe, yeah. Just confusing people and be like, no, you're wrong. This is what they look like.
Just gaslighting 101.
Redefining what a panda is.
So like, what would be like the one animal like you would use to dress up or like clone into another animal and have like get away with it?
Oh man. You mean like one that hasn't happened already?
Yeah.
Because do you remember the teacup pigs?
No.
This was like 2010, 2009.
2009.
Oops. Yeah, there's this whole fad of like, oh, I just got my teacup pig. And it shows a pig inside of a teacup. And this was a huge thing. People were buying them. Like, oh, there's a teacup pig. Turns out they were just baby pigs. And so these people were actually buying pigs. And so the babies grew up and they had a full-size 800-pound pig running around.
Oof.
I'm like, wow, that's a good scam.
I mean, if you kill it, you have meat for days.
That is true. But what would I change? You know, it'd be really funny if you just start hawk gluing horns onto the horses at the zoo.
I had to think about what you just said.
Why?
Because to me, it sounded like hawk gluing, and I'm like, what the hell is hawk gluing? Is that a new hawk tour?
Get that on Urban Dictionary. Let's get a definition for that now.
Hot gluing.
Yeah, horns to horses, and be like, oh, we have unicorns.
Oh, huh?
I think that'd be the best one.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of glitter on the horns, and
there you go.
People would probably pay it. I mean, I'm sure people would believe it, and they would.
Little girls would believe it.
That is very.
There's your
true.
birthday parties.
There you go. Oh, there you go. That's what we can start doing.
Business ideas.
We just get a donkey and we just put a horn on it. Hey, it's a unicorn. I don't know. That was like my scammer traveling salesman voice.
Like 1950s grandpa over here.
That's what I was gonna, yeah, like the raspy voice thing. I'm not good at voices. I think we have established this.
We have established that, yes.
That episode where I tried to do the Mr. Krabs impression, I was like, oh, this is so bad.
Aw.
I'm not good at it. But what about you? Like, which, by the way, how do we not have unicorns?
Don't ask me.
We have whales that have a giant horn.
We do.
We have deer that decided to hop around on two legs with a pouch on their belly. We have a skyscraper horse that has camouflage.
Skyscraper horse.
How is a horn on a horse the most ridiculous sounding thing that we don't have when we have all these other ridiculous... We have a platypus. Explain to me a platypus.
That's true. A duck and a beaver fuck each other.
It's a duck and it's a beaver and it's venomous and it lays eggs and it's the...
Wait, really?
You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah, they are.
They lay eggs and they're the only mammal that lays eggs. They sweat milk.
I didn't know that.
I swear there's not one fact about a platypus that is just normal. Everything about that creature is just fucked up and I don't know how that...
Factory generated.
Like that's... If AI was to create an animal, that's the platypus.
It'd be a platypus.
How did that thing come to be? Anyways, other than that tangent, what is your animal you would pawn off?
It's harder than
it's very hard to think of, like...
Yeah.
Because I was trying to go away from thinking of like dogs painted as something because I feel like that's the easiest route.
That's the easiest thing to do. I don't know.
I feel like you could just take like anything. Like, say if you took a rhinoceros and you put 2 more horns on it, and now you have a triceratops.
Oh, there you go. Build your own Jurassic Park.
I
mean, I guess you could like add feathers to like what any bird and just pawned it off as a dinosaur.
Did you just say add feathers to any bird?
Add more feathers. I should have clarified. Add more feathers to any bird.
Let's take their feathers and add more feathers. Extra feathers. Yeah, pretty much. How long would you survive in the Jurassic Park area? Like, if you had a time machine and went back to dinosaur times.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like, if you were in Jurassic Park, how long would you survive?
Or that too. Weren't they supposed to be doing something close to that?
I heard something about that. I'd be the guy who got eaten on the toilet.
Yeah.
I need to pee.
I'll be right back, and then you just get eaten by a T-Rex.
Okay, bye.
I could not imagine just you go outside and there's a pterodactyl that flew by. It's like, that'd be terrifying.
That'd be terrifying, but if it left you alone, that'd be really cool to see.
Kind of cool, but then it could just pick you up. You could be driving down the road and it just picks up your car and takes you, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm not going to work today.
Hey, boss. You're not going to believe this.
So aside from all that, the new generation of kids.
That was... We're just going this way and you just veer off the path of where we're going.
So the next generation of kids, I mean, we've already talked about it. We started the high sock thing, and then we got away from it, and then they rediscovered the high sock thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff that was like in our generation when we were kids is coming back.
Yeah, they're rediscovering the emo music that we...
Flare jeans.
Apparently, they just now rediscovered whippets.
Okay, humor me. What are whippets?
As I was bringing that up, I'm like, I don't know if she knows what that is.
I was born at the cusp of Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm not sure when. Yeah, it must have been a long time ago. And I don't know the details of it exactly. I'm pretty sure it's like you take the whipped cream, like the for ice cream.
Whoa, that was that was really good. For someone who can't do impressions and voices, that was pretty good.
I have about one every year, so there's your one.
Now you gotta wait till next year.
And honestly, if I try to duplicate that right now, I can never make it. So I think you take that, and if you don't put it upside down and you have it up right side up, now you're only getting the nitrous inside that makes the whipped cream. So if you inhale that, you get it really high.
Huh.
So whippets back in the day was taking whipped cream canisters and sucking on the nitrous to get high.
Oh.
Now, a company has come out.
Uh-oh.
And they make these industrial sized nitrous containers, not even whipped cream containers, nitrous containers.
Okay.
That are sold legally. And kids are like buying these and doing it in school and stuff.
That's scary. Like, okay. Why are kids nowadays getting away with shit that we have never would have gotten away with?
I see so many videos online of like classrooms and whatnot nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we would be like all getting detention for this shit.
Written up. Like we'd have like lunch duty or whatever.
Wait, what? What is lunch duty?
You never had that?
I don't think so.
So if ever you got in trouble or you have like 10 absences or whatever, because for our school it was like, 10 absences and you get written up. Or like, as opposed to like, we never really had like a traditional detention.
Okay.
We had something called lunch duties, like where if you got written up, you had to spend the recess after lunch cleaning up the lunchroom, setting everything back up to like its state before lunch, getting underneath all the tables, like scraping all like the shit off, and like just cleaning up.
So you didn't have detention.
We had slavery.
You had community service.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you get your hours in for the week of community service?
I mean, we had that and like a requirement to graduate too.
Right, but that's crazy that you just...
That was our punishment.
It's effective, I guess.
Was it though? Because I never really noticed it helping any. The same kids who were rowdy one day were rowdy the next.
That's true. But this is insane because the reason this is new or legal is because they're selling it as a cooking accessory for stuff. So it's like, oh, yeah, buy these giant containers of nitrous and you combine it with this other thing we sell to make your own whipped cream. Or you combine it with this other machine to make nitrous coffee, like the cold brew or whatever.
Saying. Right.
So legally, they can sell it, but all that cooking stuff is just a front. And they know that kids are just buying the nitrous just to get high, but they need that legal front to get around it.
Wow.
It's like, oh, it comes in different flavors, like strawberry and like watermelon.
What happened to the day we just like sucked air out of like the oxygen or whatever out of helium out of a balloon?
Helium. I was like, where are you going with this?
That's how we got high.
Even that, oh, I just found out how scary that is.
Helium. It's like sucking helium.
Yeah. Like apparently your body doesn't know when it doesn't have oxygen coming in or something like that. It only knows when its carbon dioxide is leaving.
Huh.
So you can be in a room where there's no oxygen and you're just breathing normally and you don't know you're dying because your body's like, everything's all cool. We got everything we need.
We can breathe.
Yeah. But in reality, you're not getting any oxygen. That's terrifying.
That's scary. Aren't there rooms like that? Not like for you to go to, but like for prisoners or whatever back in the day. It's like oxygen deprivation rooms or whatever.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up. But I swear I've heard something like that.
I know they have like oxygen deprivation simulation rooms, kind of, where it's like a controlled thing with like safety there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever want to experience that?
Not really. I want to experience the sensory deprivation tanks.
I've always wanted to try that.
There is one close to us, like where we are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I kind of want to do it.
You should do it.
Do it for the podcast.
You went skydiving. This is nothing compared to skydiving.
That is true. And I was like, if I die, I die.
I mean, you wouldn't die with a tank, though.
Oh, no, but it's like me being claustrophobic, I would feel like I'm dying.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give it a try.
Hey, if I'm going, you're doing it with me.
You're just like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Don't be giving me those hell no eyes.
I still need to do skydiving.
We should go.
I need to amp myself up. That's not something I just do on a whim.
The more you amp yourself up, and I know you're not the person to amp anything up. You're you. I know that.
What does that even mean?
You get into your.
I can be amp.
You're. I was gonna make a music joke, but okay.
What, with like a guitar amp?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of where you could go with that.
You're one of those people who, the more you think about it, the more in your head you get.
Yes, you're not wrong.
So you just have to close your eyes and do it. How about I pick a day and not tell you what we're doing?
I don't know if I could do that.
And we show up. No, you have to. Rules are rules.
I had one of my roommates show up once. And he's like, hey, we're going skydiving Friday. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, we're not. You might be. I am not.
Yeah, we are.
You can't give me 4 days notice that we're about to go skydiving and expect me to be okay with that.
I never really understood that of like how, because I guess that for me, I love thrill. I love heights. I love like stuff like that. So in my head, it's just like, how are you scared of all that? It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about plummeting towards Earth at thousands of miles an hour. That's
you
exciting.
Are being restrained by a parachute.
We know how my luck is. I would get that one time where the guy didn't pack it just slightly right, and the parachute messes up on the way down.
I mean, I kind of...
What is that evil laugh?
That's not evil. So... I think this was in 2021 where I just took a spontaneous trip to Oregon for a week.
Roughly. I think it was about 2021.
It was, 2021. The first day there, I was like, you know what? I feel like doing something off the rails or just fun. So I was like, I'm going to find the next skydiving place and just go. Went to like the highest height setting, elevation there was.
The highest height setting. I dragged that slider all the way to the max.
I think it was like 18,000 feet.
That is too many thousands.
Yeah. My thinking was, if I'm going to do this right now, I only have the money and the opportunity to do this once, so I might as well just do it right.
Crazy to me how you just picked the first one you found. You didn't look at reviews, see how well they were received.
I mean, it was Oregon. I feel like they didn't have many. And the one I like did find, it had like a lot of like good reviews and like just their whole safety thing was pretty good and well liked. But as we were going up, I was like, you better keep me safe. I don't want to die. You better not kill me. He's like, hey, if you're dying, I'm dying too at this point. We're in this together.
Right before he jumps, he's like, oh boy, I have a lot of debt I need to get myself out of. It's like, that's not what I want to hear right before he jumps.
But the thing is, like, as you're jumping, you have to like, have like the perfect right angle of your arms.
Mm.
And like, your legs have to be pressed close together and bent at 90 degrees. And he's like, everybody just forgets when they come down, like when they jump out.
Right.
And like, I've seen people like just playing around, like, and I have to like hold them still.
Wacky wavy, inflatable arm flailing two men in the sky.
And so he's like, if I notice you doing that, I'm going to tap you on your legs and to like, remind you of like, hey, this is the proper positioning of it.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I didn't I wasn't like playing around or whatever, but he was like tapping my legs. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
I've done the indoor one.
See, I haven't done that. And I've heard like it's scarier than the outdoor ones.
I don't know. I felt pretty safe being inside of a room and not plummeting towards Earth.
I mean, more like because it's all mechanical.
I guess so.
As opposed to natural air forcing you down.
It's just like giant ass fans that blow to keep you up in the air.
Reminds me of the one scene in Willy Wonka.
Pretty much.
Huh. Kind of want to go try that.
It's just this giant fans with a ton of air coming out to push you, and then the guy's like, it's not like you're by yourself.
Right. I mean, there's a guy.
The guy is in there with you, and so like when you start drifting towards the glass, he'll like catch you and put you back into the center.
See, that's the one thing I don't like. It's like if I go away from this, like from the center, I'm falling down. Like gravity will bring me down.
No. Like even on the edges, you're being pushed up.
Oh.
But he doesn't like. They don't want you to get hurt by smashing into the glass.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of like, it's almost like you're on a leash and they'll grab you from the back and like move you over to the center to like to keep you there, and like they'll get like, yeah, you're doing it, good job, and you're just like
I swear if that happened to me and he had to like grab me to bring me to the center, I would just bust out laughing and I'll have to come back down.
Yeah, it's like you're a toddler and they have to keep you in the center of the room at all times. Which, speaking of like impulse stuff, I don't know why.
Okay.
I really want to get into collecting something.
Why?
I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about it. I'm like,
you're really reaching that age, huh?
Is that an old person thing?
I would think. I mean, it's either a very young person thing, like you're 5 and you collect rocks.
This is true.
Or you're very old and you collect stamps.
Did I ever show you my rock sculpture?
No.
Oh, wait, where's the camera? There it is.
Where did you get that?
I made this.
Oh, from where?
2 stones.
Yes, but when, where, why?
This was like whenever I was like 10, maybe.
Oh.
And I don't know what the kind of stone is, but it's pretty brittle where like if you rub them together, they fall apart.
Oh.
And so I just sat there carving out this. I'll take a picture of it for the Instagram, but it's a ball with its own little case thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always kept it because I thought it was really cool that I made that.
Aww.
I have another one. I don't know where that one is, but it's a dog head that I sculpted too out of the same stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyways, so my boss collects and sells Hot Wheel cars.
Okay.
And he has like a big collection of those that he goes to events to sell and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking about that, like, do you remember? You might not, but they had this thing where each state, all 50 states had their own quarter coin.
Yeah.
I have all 50 of them. I went and collected those whenever I was younger.
I've always seen like the little cardboard things of like each state.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing that as a kid too. And then I think at some point I just gave up because A, we're pretty much a cashless society now.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I think they stopped making those.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. It was only for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I remember I was missing 1 or 2 and I gave up because I'm like, oh, I'm never going to find them. And I just happened to stumble upon both of them one time. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, my collection's done. Finally. And whenever I was really young, I collected TOI Beanie Babies.
Wow. Gee.
I think some of them might be rare.
Ooh,
I might have some rare ones.
Like with you right now?
I need to figure out. No, not with me. They're at my dad's. So I would have to get him to send them. But I really want to like
you should
look into see if they're worth money or something.
You should take it to like a estimator or whatever. Not a pawn shop because they'll scam you out of it.
Oh, yeah. But it's one of those things of, I mean, when TY came out, everyone's like, oh, this is going to make us millions.
Right. I remember that
really
one meme
didn't.
of like a divorced couple like splitting their Beanie Baby collection.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of right now. But yeah, something about it, I'm just like, I want to start collecting something again.
I mean, I guess for me, when I was a kid, we started collecting Pokemon cards.
That's a good one.
Like I remember kids having like giant binders full of them.
Oh, yeah. Every kid pretty much had a giant binder of cards.
I didn't put mine in a binder. I think mine was just back in the box it came in.
Could you imagine if you held on to those still? How much of my year you were probably sitting on?
Right? Stupid.
But I remember selling my original Sega Genesis with like 40 or 50 games with it.
How much?
Probably like $10.
That was my brother with the N64. He sold it for $7 at a yard sale. I'm like, you fucker.
Yeah, I regret that ever since. I'm like, because as a kid, you're dumb and you're like,
I need money.
I don't need this anymore. The PlayStation just came out and that's the cool new thing. But now like looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool to still have that.
Right?
And I wish we were smarter as kids.
I wish
And
instead of
thinking.
instead of going to school every day, we saved our money and bought a house in 2008.
Yes. Go working in the coal mines to save money.
Exactly. Child labor comes in handy sometimes.
But I can't like. So obviously, yeah, Pokemon cards, that's one thing to collect. But I feel like that's an easy way to get homeless really fast.
Pokemon cards?
Yeah.
How?
Spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on
to buy
cards
them.
Yeah. Or there's Magic the Gathering, which I heard people warn me several times never to get into that because you will quickly lose all your money. But I don't know. I'm just like, I want to collect something. I want to go out and like start buying things.
Well, don't. Don't buy things. Find a hobby that you could do for free.
Breathing? But why free? Because in order to start collecting something, you need to buy something.
Are broke.
I collect microphones.
Well, yes, but that's a very expensive hobby to have.
That is even more expensive than probably the playing cards.
Collect rocks.
Just go outside and collect rocks.
Yes. You know what I've started doing? I've started collecting concert tickets.
Oh, yeah, I still have all mine. Actually, I guess I never showed you that.
No.
I don't know where it's at. I'd have to find it. But I have a whole collection of every single ticket I've ever had since I was younger.
Aww.
Movie tickets, concert tickets. I have signed, like a signed drumstick from a concert. And
wow.
Yeah, I just hold on to all of that in a box.
Yeah, I think I've done that too. Like I don't think I have movie tickets, but I have like attraction tickets.
Oh yeah.
From places. So I started keeping those. I think for me, like at some point I want to like put them all in like a shadow box.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
And just have that on display.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. I'll have to learn how to make one.
I feel like I'm going to at some point look into what cards I can start buying and buy little packs.
Baseball cards, I guess.
I feel like that's even anything dealing with cards is just a money trap.
Yeah. Which is why I'm like, oh yeah, you can just collect rocks.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. Have you ever seen those videos of people just going out like on beaches and stuff, and they find they're like these spheres that are inside rocks, and they break them open, and there's like gems inside.
I haven't.
Kind of like a geode almost,
okay.
but no.
Huh.
I'm like, I want to do that. I want to find
go.
these things. I've seen that so many times on shorts of like people digging out this giant ass diamond thing that they found on the thing. I'm like,
but where are they?
I don't know. I really don't know where they're at. Would you ever go into a cave?
Ugh. Depends on how far, but yes.
Because this made me think about the diamond caves in Mexico.
Okay.
I think in Mexico. Have you heard of those?
No.
There, let me show you a quick picture.
Okay.
They're not diamonds, they're crystals.
Okay.
But this is in Mexico, and I always wanted to go, like, ever since seeing this, I'm like, that'd be so cool to go see.
Interesting.
But you have to get down pretty far to
Yeah,
point.
I mean, I've always wanted to until I saw this online.
Oh, yeah, the Nutty Putty Cave guy.
Yeah, I saw that online, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Whenever I asked you about going into the cave, that's the exact scenario that popped in my head of why I would never do it.
And that's why I'm like, it depends on how far we go.
Yeah, like you said about the deprivation tanks,
Mm-hmm.
there are caves around us that It would take about 3 hours to get there, but we could get to them.
Yeah.
And I've been in those ones, and
Oh, you have been.
it's terrifying how dark it is in there. But it's very open. You're not going through little crevices to get anywhere. And
Well, yeah, they're more, I guess, safer in a sense.
yeah, I would never purposely squeeze through a crevice to get somewhere
If you have to squeeze through, that's your sign to get out.
Exactly. That has popped up on my, or maybe it's been on Reddit where I see videos of this stuff, and I have to actually hold my breath, and I'm like having so much anxiety watching this video of people squeezing through, and like they're like, okay, now we're in this one part, and I have to breathe very shallowly, and I have to keep my stomach in because if I breathe, I'm gonna suffocate. And like, so they're like squeezing through. I'm like, dude, turn around. Why are you down there? We should not be down
Honestly.
there. There's just some places humans should not go, and I think caves are one of them. What is down there? There's nothing down there.
Darkness.
To be alone with your thoughts.
So then, going off that, like, have you ever had near-death experiences?
How near death?
To the point where you, might get, like, very hurt or die.
Might get hurt or die?
Like, you would have gotten hurt.
Oh, I should have been dead 300 times over by now. You talk about how I'm lucky with driving. Somehow I'm lucky with staying alive too, because I remember as a kid, I think there was one time in a pool, I was stuck in the water and was drowning literally, and someone helped me out. One time I was at a park and I took a bite of candy and started choking on it to the point where I was losing consciousness, and my cousin had to give me the Heimlich to get it out of my throat. Same park as a kid, riding my bike on the sidewalk, and I fell off of the sidewalk, off of my bike, off of the sidewalk, and my leg was caught into the bike frame as a car was coming towards me and almost got ran over. Whenever I broke my leg on the road, a car almost ran me over. So
fuck. I would say I only had two. One was, and it wasn't quicksand, but it was like, I don't know what it was, but like if you stay in one location long enough, you'd sink. And me being how small I am, I was like almost up to my shoulders in this.
was it like that non-Newtonian fluid?
I have no clue what it was.
The fluid, like if you hit it, it's solid, but if you stay still, it's a liquid?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think we were like on a kids' field trip or whatever, like for summer camp. And we were all just hanging around, and we were all like, hey, let's just stay here, see how far we can get in. Did not realize how short I was at the time. And with me being that little, how quickly I would sink in.
Yeah, compared to everyone else.
To the point where like one of the older camp counselors had to like grab me, pick me up from my like armpits and just like start dragging me out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, please don't let me die here.
Aww.
And I was just like, I was just like almost to my face in that. And I was just in my head, I'm thinking, if I am completely sunk in this, what would I even do to get out?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because that's like a slow way.
Like you're expecting that at that point.
Yeah.
Huh.
What about your other one?
This was when I was drinking water that one time and it went down the wrong pipe.
This happened 2 times, not just one. You're like, well, I almost just drowned. I'm like, what are you talking about? I took a drink of water.
I didn't realize how much water I was drinking. And I like blacked out too, almost.
We talk about me almost dying on grapes, and you almost died just drinking water like a normal human.
We aren't functional at all.
Or not. Oh man, I remember being in San Francisco, and the one time I went, we were, when you cross the Golden Gate Bridge and heading away from the city, and then and you turn left right whenever you cross the bridge, and you can go up the hill to the military base. We were up there, ran into a gang up there, and they were trying to they were harassing us, and we honestly contemplated jumping down this cliff area to get away from them because we didn't know how. Luckily, we just ran out of there. We were unharmed.
Aww.
I think it was later that day, we're down into the wharf area. Another gang that we ran into, and we had to book it out of there too.
What is with you and attracting gangs? Jeez.
Gangs and NPCs, I swear. And then the second time I go down there, and there's this rapper guy handing out his mixtape, which if you go down there, he's still probably there. He's been there for the last 10 years probably, because between the 2 times I've gone down there, it's the same guy handing out the same mixtape. And he wanted to give me his thing, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't have any money to buy your CD. Like, being nice about it.
Right.
He took so much offense to that, thinking I'm calling him homeless. And I was like, I might get shot right now. He's very angry. And like my girlfriend at the time, like we had to talk him down and be like, dude, like that's not what we like. We just don't have money.
Jeez.
So needless to say, every time I go to San Francisco, I almost die. So when you take me one day, if we go and you show me around, I'm going to be terrified to walk around there.
I think we have had 2 very different experiences of San Francisco because I was born there.
Right.
I have lived there. You, and I don't know why or how or what you do to plan your trips there, but you're picking all the wrong places.
Honestly, whenever I've gone with people, it's always like, let's just do the touristy stuff. So the wharf, Chinatown, the military base, the Golden Gate Bridge.
It's always pissed me off people here saying, oh, San Franciscans aren't nice, when all they have had experiences of are the touristy places. You're not going to find locals in all these touristy places. So it's like, I remember I think it was like a teacher in high school, and I really want to say it was an attack towards me because she knew I was from there. And so I really wanted to say, well, you're really at like the wrong place because that's not true. But I would have immediately have gotten written up for talking back to a teacher if I said that. So I was like, oh, this bitch is making me so mad right now.
It's like going to New York and only going to Manhattan and you only stay in the Times Square area. And that's your entire trip. You're not getting the experience.
Exactly. Yeah, no. That's like with you, like if we ever go to Pittsburgh.
But there's no touristy stuff in Pittsburgh.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Well, no, wait. What would be the touristy thing?
I mean, you've told me about the fountain or whatever.
Even that's not touristy.
Really?
I feel like that's just where all the locals go and hang out.
Interesting.
I would say the lookouts up on the mountain are probably the most touristy thing because you ride the lift up the mountain.
Okay.
And then you go to a lookout. And I think that's probably the most touristy thing people do.
Really?
But even that, I genuinely, like, we get tourists, don't get me wrong.
I was going to say, like, so then what do tourists even do there?
I don't know. I truly don't know what you do. There was one time my girlfriend at the time and I were walking down the strip area, like, and it was weird. I'm pretty sure they cleaned it up by now, but you had one end of it where it was really nice. And then there was a middle section of like rundown homes. Mm-hmm. And then you got to the area I lived at, which was also all the shops, all the bars, coffee shops, pizza, nice area. Mm-hmm. We were over in area 1 walking around, and then we were heading back to where I lived. Mm-hmm. And there was touristy people behind us, or we ran into touristy people, and they're like, hey, we're looking for food. Like, we're tourists, we're not from here. Can you help us find food? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, where we're walking now, like, we just got to get through all this. And then when we get up there, there's so many places for you to eat and like have fun. There's a lot over there. They're like, oh, so we go and we're starting to walk, and then we get into like the rundown area. Oh. And like her and I are just talking. They're behind us. And then all of a sudden we look back and they're gone. Like they turned around, they booked it back to their station. I'm like, oh, I get it, but I'm like, you're fine. We're fine. Nothing's gonna happen. It just looks bad. It doesn't actually.
Maybe you should have warned them.
Hindsight. Yeah. So yeah, when we go, and things could have changed since I moved, but yeah, really not that much touristy stuff to actually do. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Whoa. Now we have a lot of updates to do with the podcast at some point.
With what? If we go? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and firstly, you need this saga of your shoes to be finished. I'm curious of how this is going to end.
Maybe it is already over. I just don't know it.
Do we announce who he is if he doesn't?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm going to dox this motherfucker if he doesn't give me my money back.
Like, just put in a bad word for him of like, don't ever shop with this guy because I'm down. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. We had a lot of updates. I'm not really sure what all we talked about. It's been a long conversation.
We just talked about random shit, as we do with podcasts.
Yeah. But yeah, if you liked what you heard, be sure to
whoa, there he is. It's so back. Well. It's back.
I just lost all hope whenever I first started. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, go follow our socials at Intersint Pod, and we will see you next week.